Violet, what is going on? Did you seriously change the locks on the front door without telling me? Let me into the house right now! No, I won't. You don't have a room here anymore, and frankly, having you come back would just be a nuisance. What are you talking about? This is my house too. How dare you just lock me out? Technically, yes, it's your house, but as of today, your sister-in-laws and their kids are moving in. All 8 of them, so we needed to make space. What are you even saying right now? What kind of situation is this? Oh, come on. You know both of my daughters are single moms with 3 kids each. They need a place to stay, and I decided to be generous and let them live here. Surely you're not heartless enough to turn away family in need, right? Besides, you're just the daughter-in-law. You don't get to overrule me and my family. And if you got a problem with it, well, looks like you've already left. Problem solved. I didn't leave. You kicked me out. You put all my belongings out on the front porch like I'm some stranger. This is completely outrageous. I'm calling Robert right now. He's going to hear about all of this. Go ahead and call him. Won't do you any good. He's already agreed to everything. We had a nice little chat and he's on board. Wait, Robert actually agreed to this? Oh yes, you're not as essential as you thought you were. Consider this a wake-up call. Maybe some time outside will help you reflect on what a useless wife you've been. Hey Ruby, sorry to bother you out of the blue. If it's not too much trouble, could I crash at your place tonight? Wait, what? Of course you can, but what happened? You said something about being kicked out? Did it already happen? That was fast! Yeah, it happened. I didn't think they'd move this quickly, but they did. My mother-in-law and her daughters showed up out of nowhere and literally took over the house. Wait, what? Took over as in they're just living there now? That place is under your name, isn't it? You're the one paying the mortgage. Exactly. I mentioned once, stupidly I guess, that the house was under my name and I was the one handling the loan. Next thing I know, Violet changes the locks and throws all my stuff out onto the front porch like I'm some squatter. And now her 2 single mom daughters and their kids are living there. 8 people in total. She even had the nerve to say I was just a disposable daughter-in-law and that I'm not needed anymore. Oh my god, Zuri, that's not just insane. It's illegal. Do you want to talk to someone about legal options? You can't just be kicked out of your own house like that. Yeah, I think I might need to. But before that, I just need to breathe. I'm so mad, but also so tired. Would it be okay if I explained everything in detail when I get to your place? The more I think about it, the more I realize I might need help building my case. Absolutely. Come over. We'll talk it all through. And don't worry, we're not letting them get away with this. Thank you. Seriously. Whoa, what the hell? That's insane! I figured she might lock you out or something, but bringing her entire daughter's family to move in? That's next level! Yeah, Violet's always had a soft spot for her own blood, no matter how selfish they are. But even I didn't think she'd move this fast. Nobody in their right mind would expect something like this the day after announcing they bought a house. I mean, yeah, they probably had this planned already, but still, today's events haven't even sunk in yet, and it already feels like I'm behind. God, now I'm going to have to stay late just to finish up what I was working on before all this blew up. I'm really sorry. I didn't want to drag you into all this drama. Stop! Don't even! This isn't your fault. What Violet did is completely out of line. You've put up with so much from her and from your husband, too. You've been patient for years. Well, that patience has finally run out. Ever since I married into that family, I've been dealing with Robert's passive-aggressive manipulation and Violet's constant power plays. I've been their emotional punching bag for so long, but now I'm finally in a position to fight back. That's right! You held off on filing for divorce because you wanted to make sure Violet faced some kind of justice too, didn't you? Exactly. Violet always treated me like I was some object her son acquired, not a person with feelings. She genuinely believes that when a woman marries, she becomes her husband's property. She tried to force that toxic ideology on me from day one. I stayed in the marriage because I knew if I left quietly, Violet would walk away untouched like she always does. That was something I just couldn't accept. Some people say revenge is a waste of time, but those people probably haven't been through what you have. Pain like that doesn't just fade. It eats away at you unless you do something about it. I know. Part of me wishes I could just move on and to live my life in peace. But the thought of Violet and her daughters living happily ever after in my house while I'm left picking up the pieces? No, that's something I can't stomach. That's why I've spent so long planning this, why I asked you for help, and yet, even after all the preparation, they still made the first move. Yeah, they beat us to the punch, but honestly, they've overplayed their hand. This blatant move makes it easier for us. They're feeling smug and secure right now, I'm sure, which means this is the perfect time to strike. You're right. I've waited long enough. It's time to put an end to this sick little family empire once and for all. No more mercy. I'm going to take everything they stole from me and crush them with it. Let's go, Zuri! They've underestimated you for the last time! Violet, could you please tell Robert to check his messages? I've been trying to get in touch with him, but it seems like he's ignoring me. He should be home by now, right? This is important. Please let him know it's not something to be brushed off. Oh, sweetie, he's not ignoring you. He blocked you. There's a difference. Not everyone treats people like garbage and then expects a reply. Poor thing, dumped by her husband. Must sting, huh? So Robert's taking your side? Side? Don't make me laugh. No one is on your side. You married into this family. You're not one of us. You're just a stray we were kind enough to let in. And now look, you betrayed Robert first, didn't you? Stop pretending like you're some sort of victim. You're not. Betrayed him? What are you even talking about? Don't play dumb. I heard all about how you had the day off today and still chose to run around with your friends instead of taking care of the house. Putting your friends before your family? Shameful. You've got no right to speak to Robert. He deserves a real partner and not some selfish brat. Funny. But you do realize Robert was the one who chose me, don't you? He chose you because you hide who you really were. You tricked him. That's deception, plain and simple. He gave you so many chances to change, and you ignored every one. You should take some time to reflect on how you've neglected your husband. You can come back tomorrow. I might even unlock the door for you. You really think I'm coming back to that house? Are you out of your mind? What? I said I'm not coming back. I've had enough! All this talk about how I'm supposedly neglecting my husband, it's laughable. Coming from someone like you, who raised the most emotionally unavailable man I've ever met? Spare me. You're being dramatic. Calm down! No, I've been calm. For years. I bit my tongue every time Robert walked into that house, ignored me, and sat down to eat the dinner I cooked like it was owed to him. No thanks, no recognition. And every time I was expected to clean, cook, cater to his moods, and act like it was my duty as a wife, even when he snapped over nothing, yelling, belittling, gaslighting, I still held it together. And when it got really bad, he'd call you, Violet. You'd march in, acting like I was the problem, like I was some broken appliance your son regretted purchasing. You two made me feel so small in my own home. Zuri, you don't get to talk about your husband like that. If hearing it makes you uncomfortable, maybe it's time you finally admit that your perfect little boy isn't so perfect after all. But you won't, will you? You'll keep blaming me, but not anymore. I've reached my limit, Violet, and I'm done letting either of you walk all over me. I hope you enjoy living in that house, because it won't be for long. You wanted war? You got it. So sit tight and enjoy your cozy little setup while it lasts, because I'm not playing nice anymore. What are you even talking about? What is the meaning of this? You lied to us, didn't you? Good morning to you too. Can you be a little more specific? What exactly did I lie about? Don't play dumb. You told us you bought that condo with a loan, didn't you? And then this morning a lawyer, the landlord, and even the police showed up. Ah, so they've already taken action. Impressive. That team moves fast. So you admit it? You're behind this whole thing? They threatened us with legal action as saying we were trespassing and squatting. This has to be some kind of mistake. No mistake at all. You are squatting. That condo is legally leased in my name. I never said I bought it outright. Certainly never said I took out a mortgage. Don't lie! You said you bought it. Robert confirmed it. He told me you owned the place. Do you have any proof of that? A message, a recording, anything where I say I own it? No, but Robert said. So no proof. Sounds like you and Robert just decided to twist a story to suit your narrative. Don't accuse me of lying when you're the ones making assumptions. Then again, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. People who barge into someone else's home without permission probably don't care much about facts, do they? I am not unreasonable. Really? Then why did the landlord reach out to me personally yesterday? He said, and I quote, "Only Miss Zuri is listed on the lease. Everyone else entered without permission. They need to vacate immediately." And what did you do when he told you that? You screamed at him. You refused to leave. You threw a fit in the building lobby. That's because that landlord had the nerve to tell us to leave. What did you expect him to do? You're not on the lease. You're not paying rent. You broke in and decided to take over the place like it was yours. Honestly, you're lucky he didn't press charges right then. But calling the police, that was over the line. You do realize that criminal trespassing and illegal occupancy are actual crimes, right? When people illegally enter someone else's home and refuse to leave, the police get involved. That's not over the line, it's standard procedure. And the fact that you still refuse to leave even after the police arrived, that takes a special kind of boldness. We weren't doing anything wrong, and it's not like we're strangers since you're family. Besides, you said the condo was yours, so why shouldn't we be allowed to stay? You're Robert's wife. That makes your home part of our family's assets. That nonsense has already been debunked by my attorney. Just because I'm married to your son does not make my property or lease a family free-for-all. There's no law in this country that says a husband's family inherits control over his wife's home. You were told that clearly. You were given 3 full days to leave. Meanwhile, I was kicked out of my own apartment in 1. So forgive me if I don't feel particularly sorry for you. That's not fair. We can't leave in 3 days. Everything's chaotic right now. My daughters are upset. They're asking me what's going on, and I don't know what to tell them. Tell them the truth. Tell them you broke into someone's home because you assumed you had the right. Tell them you didn't think twice before kicking out the person who actually paid for the place. And maybe suggest they go back to their own homes. We don't have a home to go back to. Excuse me? The house. We sold it. It was too small for all of us anyway, just a cramped little place. But when we heard you got a new place, we figured it must be bigger and better. So we sold the old house, signed the papers and everything. There's no going back now. You lied, Zuri. You tricked us. What the hell are we supposed to do? You sold your home based on assumptions you made? That's on you, Violet. Even if I had lied and said I bought the place, which, again, I didn't, that still would not entitle you to anything. I never said, "Here, Violet, take the condo." I never invited you to move in. I never told you to sell your house. That was your decision. But we thought... Exactly. You thought wrong. You assumed that anything of mine automatically belonged to you. You treated me like an extension of your son's bank account, and when I pushed back, you threw me out. Now it's come full circle. You're reaping what you sowed. You've ruined everything. You did that all on your own. You weaponized your relationship with your son. You manipulated the situation. You wanted control of me, of the home, of everything. And now that it's slipping away, you're throwing a tantrum like a child. I suggest you use the next 3 days to find somewhere else to go. Good afternoon, Robert. This is Ruby. The attorney mentioned to you yesterday. I tried calling you earlier but couldn't reach you, so I hope it's alright I'm contacting you via text. When you see this message, I would appreciate a call back. Alternatively, if there's a more convenient time for you, please let me know and I'll gladly arrange a call around your schedule. So, you're the lawyer who came by yesterday, huh? Listen here, Robert doesn't need to deal with a lawyer. He hasn't done anything wrong. What business do you have contacting him? Pardon me, but may I ask if you're Robert's mother? I'm afraid I can't discuss the nature of this case with anyone other than Robert, due to client confidentiality. Would you mind passing the phone to him, please? He doesn't want to talk to you, okay? He told me himself. If you have something to say, you can say it to me. I'm speaking on his behalf. Just to clarify, you're formally stating that you're acting as Robert's legal proxy in this conversation? Yes, I am. Isn't that obvious? Now stop wasting time and get to the point. Understood. Since you're speaking as his proxy and I'm operating under the assumption Robert has approved this, I'll proceed accordingly. I'm reaching out on behalf of my client, Zuri. As of yesterday, we are formally initiating proceedings for the dissolution of marriage between Robert and Zuri. Initially, I attempted to contact Robert directly by phone. However, after multiple attempts with no response, I've resorted to this form of communication. Divorce? Are you seriously saying she wants a divorce? Yes, that is correct. To put it plainly, Zuri no longer wishes to remain in the marriage. In addition, she has reported sustained emotional and psychological harm during the course of the marriage, largely due to Robert's treatment and behavior toward her. Therefore, she is seeking both equitable division of marital assets and damages in the form of compensation for emotional distress. We will be submitting a formal legal notice shortly. Should you or Robert wish to challenge the terms, you may do so through the appropriate legal channels. Hold on just a minute. First, she walks out on her husband, then she tries to bleed him dry. That money isn't hers, it's his. Robert is the one who works. That selfish girl doesn't deserve a dime. Ma'am, with respect, that's not how marital property laws work. Under U.S. law, any income earned during the marriage is considered joint marital property, unless a prenuptial agreement states otherwise, which in this case there is none. Zuri is entitled to a fair share of what was accumulated during the course of the marriage. Furthermore, Zuri's income has been documented to be comparable to Robert's, which means neither party can claim exclusive financial contribution. I don't care what the law says. Robert's not giving her a penny. And emotional damage? What emotional damage? If anything, we're the victims here. That girl's been a nightmare since the day she walked through our door. If you or Robert believe that you have suffered emotional harm, you are welcome to submit evidence supporting such a claim and pursue a countersuit. However, if you wish to object to Zuri's claim, the proper venue is in the courtroom, not over text. Don't act so smug. You're just bluffing. You don't have any real evidence. I bet this is all just empty talk to scare us into giving her what she wants. Actually, we do have evidence. Zuri recorded several conversations in which Robert referred to her as a useless parasite and demanded that she obey without question because she was just a wife brought into the family. We also have medical documentation from 3 separate incidents in which Zuri sought treatment following physical altercations with Robert. These include a physician's report noting bruising and stress-related symptoms directly tied to her domestic environment. These documents and recordings are more than sufficient to establish a pattern of verbal and emotional abuse, and in one case, physical.
Wait, what? She was recording him? And when did she go to the doctor? We never knew about this.
That is precisely why it's called documentation. She did not need to inform you or your son before seeking medical help. As for the recordings, Zuri had every legal right to gather evidence in her own home. And while you may not have known about it, the courts will. If you plan to argue against these claims, you'll need something more substantial than denials.
You're manipulating everything. This is our family's business, not something for some outsider attorney to meddle in. And now you're painting Robert as some kind of monster?
My only role here is to represent my client's legal interests, and the evidence paints a very clear picture, one that the court will be reviewing in full. This is no longer a private family matter. Once a party files for divorce and claims abuse, it becomes a legal matter. If you wish to resolve this amicably, we are open to negotiation. If not, we will see you in court.
Unbelievable. She was never strong enough to fight back before. Now she gets a lawyer and suddenly acts like she's the victim. This is so unfair. You lawyers twist everything and ruin families.
Ma'am, families are not ruined by attorneys. They're often broken long before we get involved. We simply shine a light on what's already there. Now, unless Robert wishes to respond himself, I'll be expecting either your legal representative to contact me or a formal response to the content of our notice. You have 5 business days. If no reply is received, we will proceed with filing in family court.
You'll regret this, both of you.
Have a good day, ma'am.
What the hell is going on? Why is that woman getting a larger share of the marital property? You told me, didn't you? You said she and Robert made roughly the same amount of money. So why is she getting more? It's absolutely ridiculous.
So, to clarify, you're expressing concern over the current distribution ratio of the marital assets. I understand. As noted in the attached documentation...
Oh, don't even start with that tiny print document. Do you think seniors can even read that? Show a little respect for your elders.
I apologize. Allow me to explain it plainly then. Under normal circumstances, when both parties have similar income levels, as is the case with Zuri and Robert, marital property is split 50-50. However, in this case, Robert has repeatedly and secretly misused shared assets without Zuri's knowledge or consent. That is a key factor that changes the distribution.
So what? He used his own money. Why shouldn't he be allowed to spend it however he wants?
Unfortunately, the amount he spent exceeded his personal share. It wasn't just his money, rather he was dipping into joint funds as well. Between gambling, excessive drinking, and frequenting adult entertainment venues, his spending crossed the threshold into wasteful and irresponsible behavior.
Excuse me? Adult entertainment? You're saying my son went to some strip club?
Yes, ma'am. We have photo evidence of Robert spending large sums at high-end gentlemen's clubs. Receipts from the venues, as well as credit card statements, confirm that these visits were not isolated incidents. In fact, they became routine. Given the scale and frequency of his expenditures, despite repeated warnings from Zuri, we had no choice but to request a reduced share for Robert in the division of assets. This decision is consistent with family law standards regarding marital waste.
This is insane! So not only are you reducing his share of the property, but now you're telling me he also has to pay alimony on top of that? There's no way he can afford that! You're destroying him!
Zuri is also seeking compensation for emotional distress as part of the divorce settlement. Again, this is not unusual considering the emotional harm and financial strain Robert placed on her during the marriage. As explained in the notice, these decisions are based on evidence, not emotion.
This is completely outrageous. He's the one being wronged here. She's the one ruining everything. How dare you call this fair?
With all due respect, these matters are being decided by the involved parties, Zuri and Robert. You are not a party to this marriage. And while I understand your concern as his mother, legally speaking, your opinion does not carry weight in these negotiations.
I'm acting as his proxy. That gives me the right to speak for him.
Even if you are serving as his proxy, all final decisions still require Robert's direct consent. You may participate in communication, but you do not hold the legal authority to finalize terms without his signature. Now, if Robert would like to handle this personally, I am more than happy to resume contact with him. Until then, please ensure he reviews the necessary documentation and confirms how he wishes to proceed.
You lawyers are unbelievable. You twist things to fit your narrative and call it justice. Robert doesn't deserve any of this.
If that's how he feels, he is welcome to contest the terms. But as it stands, the documentation and the law support our position. Please have him respond within 5 business days, or we will proceed with filing in family court.
What the hell is going on? You've been spreading rumors to our relatives, haven't you?
Not rumors, facts. I visited a few of your relatives because they've always treated me with basic human decency. I thought they deserved to know the truth, and while I was there, I told them everything. I'm not sure why that bothers you so much since you've always been vocal about your beliefs. Remember what you used to say to me over and over? A wife must obey her husband, no matter what. That's how a proper household works. If that's the standard you live by, then what's the harm in me sharing it with others? It's common sense, right? According to you, anyway.
Because of you, I've been getting attacked by everyone from my own relatives to my own daughters. Even her kids are freaking out. They're just little kids, Zuri. They've been shouting at me, crying about how we've lost our home and asking where we're supposed to go. And they're blaming me. This is all your fault. To make it worse, my daughters said you took things from the house without permission.
Are you seriously still living in that condo? I honestly wish you'd taken everything. Would have made it easier for you to leave. You've already overstayed your welcome, and now you're just causing more trouble. The landlord is beyond fed up. He's given you plenty of grace, and he said if you're not out soon, legal action is next. You've got 3 days, Violet. Use them wisely.
You don't understand. We can't leave right now.
Oh, now you want someone to understand your circumstances? Where was that same consideration when you kicked me out? When you locked me out of my own home without a second thought. Sorry, but your convenience isn't my concern anymore. If Robert can't afford a hotel or a short-term rental, that sounds like a him problem.
Robert's job is difficult right now. He told me his boss hasn't been giving him fair evaluations, and that's why his paycheck got cut.
You mean he got evaluated, and that evaluation led to a pay cut? That's not unfair, that's just performance-based assessment.
What does that even mean? Are you saying you had something to do with his job being affected?
I didn't need to do anything beyond stating facts. Robert's employer happens to have business ties with a property firm that collaborates with our landlord. So, when the landlord reached out, understandably frustrated, and mentioned that Robert helped illegally move multiple family members into a property under my lease and refused to vacate, let's just say that information traveled fast. And wouldn't you know it, the landlord had some close contacts at Robert's company. One of the companies they do deals with happened to be the landlord's friend. So yeah, I think it came up in conversation.
Are you saying that you are the reason Robert's income dropped? You're sabotaging him now?
I'm saying if a conversation like that can tank his reputation at work, then maybe he didn't have much of a good reputation to begin with. Let's be real. Good employees don't get penalized over one third-party complaint. But a consistently sloppy worker with attitude issues? Yeah, I can see how that might tip the scales.
That's a damn lie! Robert is a hard worker. He always has been.
Really? Hard workers usually know how to do basic tasks, like picking up groceries without forgetting half the list, or not repeating the exact things they were asked not to do. Or saying thank you when someone cooks a meal for them, or not shouting and demeaning their spouse over the smallest inconvenience.
You're just bitter because you lost control over him. You're jealous because I still have my son, and you've got no one left.
What I lost was years of my life trying to make a marriage work with a man-child who needed his mommy to speak for him. What I gained is clarity and peace, and a lawyer. And if you think Robert is your only ally left, you might want to check again. Even your own relatives are finally seeing who you really are.
Zuri, sweetheart, would you consider coming back? I think there's just been a huge misunderstanding between us. If we could just sit down and talk it out properly, I'm sure we could come to some kind of understanding.
Are you seriously trying to cozy up to me now? Right after your daughter stole most of the furniture and your precious son lost his income? Let me guess, now that you've got nothing left to leech off, you're suddenly interested in a conversation? What exactly do you want to talk about? Oh wait, you must mean the compensation I'm demanding. If you're finally ready to negotiate on that, then sure, let's talk.
Come on, Zuri, that's not necessary, is it? There's no need to pay anything. Let's just settle things peacefully, like a family. We are family, after all.
Family? Now you want to throw that word around? Please don't make me laugh. You treated me like property, like something your son owned, something you could command and belittle without consequences. You never once treated me like a member of your family. This mess is the result of your actions. Also, while we're at it, tell Robert to stop sending me his pathetic excuses. The man blocked me for weeks, then suddenly unblocks me and sends a message saying, I didn't mean to hurt you, it was Mom who told me to do it. I didn't have a choice.
Wait, what? He blamed me? He actually said that to you?
Yes. He's trying to pin all the blame on you in a last-ditch effort to dodge the emotional damage claim. He thought that by playing the helpless son card, I'd suddenly drop everything and walk away. It's not going to work. And if the two of you keep this up, I'll be adding more to the compensation demand. You're already skating on thin ice.
Zuri, please. You have no idea how bad things have gotten. Today, the movers showed up and took away almost everything from the condo. I had no idea it was happening. Turns out my daughters hired them without even telling me. And when I asked them about it, they said it was repayment for the inconvenience of being kicked out. They cleared out nearly every room.
Well, what did you expect? They're your daughters. Clearly, the lack of empathy runs in the family.
I'm serious. This isn't funny anymore. We've got nothing left. Not even a sofa to sit on. The kids are crying, my daughters are furious, and we have nowhere else to go. I'm begging you, Zuri, please, help us.
Help you? You mean after you locked me out of my own apartment? After you laughed about how you kicked me to the curb and moved your family in without permission? After Robert tried to gaslight me and pretend he was the one suffering? You want help now?
Yes, I do. I'll do anything. Just please fix this somehow.
Okay. I might be willing to reconsider some things, but only on one condition.
Anything! Just name it!
If Robert agrees to sign the divorce papers immediately, then I'll consider adjusting how I handle the rest of the process. Frankly, dragging this out any longer is a waste of everyone's time. You want relief? I want closure. Let's make it happen.
Really? If he signs the papers, you'll help us? You'll call off the lawyers? I said I would consider revisiting some terms. Let's not twist my words. But yes, if Robert signs the papers, it makes things easier for everyone, including me. It saves you from further embarrassment, and it saves him from more legal exposure. You're in no position to negotiate, Violet. Take what you can get. All right, I'll talk to Robert. I'll make sure he understands. I'll tell him to sign the papers as soon as possible. How could you? You said you'd help us figure things out! You promised you'd take care of it, that you'd at least do something. We got forcibly evicted today. We have nowhere to go. You tricked us, didn't you? You set this up just to punish us. Tricked you? That's a bit dramatic, don't you think? I never told a single lie. I said I'd think things over, but that didn't mean I was coming to your rescue. It meant I was thinking over the best way to make sure you'd be held accountable. That's what I was planning, and I did exactly that. This is unbelievable! You planned to get us thrown out the entire time? Like we're garbage? It's not unbelievable. You were living in a home that isn't yours, under a lease you were never a part of. Now that the divorce is finalized, you and I are legally strangers. You have no right to be in that apartment. So yes, eviction is the natural consequence. Wait a second. Don't tell me! You got Robert to sign the divorce papers just so you could kick us out faster? I won't lie, that was part of it. I've been ready to divorce him for a long time. I was just waiting for the right moment. And the moment he signed, the lease protections I once had to honor because of him disappeared. It gave me the legal opening I needed to reclaim my space and end this nightmare. You really did all of this without even blinking. How can you live with yourself? You're hurting yourself too. Robert's income is gone, isn't it? How are you going to survive without the support? Funny you should ask. My income actually went up. Not that it's any of your business. What? You? Promoted? Yes, I've been promoted. I'm now in a leadership role at my company. Turns out, when you aren't being emotionally suffocated and constantly demeaned, you can actually grow. No, that can't be right. You were never capable of that. You were slow. You struggled with housework. You weren't cut out for anything beyond being a housewife. And that's exactly what you wanted me to believe. That's what you and your son kept saying to me. That I was too slow, too messy, too weak. But the truth is, I was being restricted. I was playing small just to survive under your control. The moment I got free from your toxicity, I soared. You really hated us that much? Hated you? Do you want a reminder of what you did? Of how you poured hot soup on my head because you said it tasted like garbage? Of how you'd scream that I wasn't a real woman because there was dust under the couch? How you ripped up every dress I owned because a disgrace like me didn't deserve to wear nice things? That was discipline! Discipline? I am not your child. You had no right to discipline me. You were cruel, controlling, and emotionally abusive. You tried to break me down so I'd stay dependent on your son. I see that now. I really do. Please, just let us stay a little longer. We have nowhere to go tonight. At least give us some time to figure something out. I can't, because you're not allowed to be there anymore. I already had the lease terminated. The apartment is officially vacant. What do you mean, terminated? I went to the landlord and explained the situation. I told them about the divorce, the unauthorized occupants, the legal risks. We had a 2-year contract, but they agreed to terminate it early just for me. That place is no longer anyone's home. If you want to live there again, you'll need to reapply and sign a new lease. That's impossible! That place is expensive! There's no way I could afford it! Then I guess you'll have to turn to your beloved son. Maybe he can support you now. Oh wait, that's right. I heard he got demoted. Shuffled off to some rural branch. Big pay cut, right? Barely enough to support himself, let alone you and your grandchildren. He's struggling, okay? He can't help us either!
Then you'll have to figure it out on your own, just like I had to. You didn't just try to steal my home. You tried to steal my life and my future. This is karma. Now you know what it feels like to be completely abandoned. So tell me, Violet, now that you've lost your house, your son's income, and the family's reputation, what do you have to say?
Please, I'm sorry. I'm truly, truly sorry. I'll do anything. Just please forgive me. Don't leave us like this.
Now you apologize? Now, when you're desperate and cornered, that kind of apology means nothing. You only regret it because you lost. Let me leave you with something to remember. Those who trample on someone else's life eventually find their own lives trampled in return.
Please, don't abandon me. I'll do anything you want, I swear. Just don't leave me like this.
Goodbye, Violet, and rest assured, we'll never meet again. Violet and her family lost their home and had to move into a much smaller apartment, one that was even more cramped than the house they had put up for sale. The comfortable life they had once known was gone, replaced by uncertainty and financial hardship. Worse yet, Violet was cut off from her relatives. Without any support from family, she turned to Robert. But his situation was just as bleak. He had been demoted at work, his salary sharply reduced, and the stress led to constant arguments between them. The relationship that had once been built on love and trust began to crumble. Weighed down by the pressures of their circumstances, Violet, who had always adored her son, found herself rejected by him as well. Despite all the love and care she had shown him, her son chose to distance himself. This abandonment must have been deeply painful for Violet, as she was now facing rejection from the one person she had always prioritized in her life. It's heartbreaking to think that, after everything, her son no longer wanted to be a part of her life. I recently heard that Violet and her family have also been cut off from their extended relatives, following the turmoil they created. Their actions had consequences that reached far beyond just their own lives, leading to a complete breakdown of familial ties. With no one left to support them, Violet and her family are facing an uncertain and lonely future. The isolation must be difficult, especially when you have no one to turn to and no one willing to help. With no close family and no stability, the struggles ahead for them are bound to be monumental. As for me, my life has taken a different path. After everything that happened, I've been able to free myself from the stress that once consumed me. I've focused on building my career and have been able to achieve success through hard work and determination. The feeling of liberation has been incredible. I'm no longer shackled by the negativity of the past. Instead, I've been channeling my energy into creating a future that's bright and full of possibilities. In addition to that, I received alimony from both Robert and Violet. It was a difficult and painful process, but it was a necessary part of moving on. The alimony wasn't about money. It was about justice. After everything they put me through, receiving the compensation was a step toward closure. It's been a long road, but with that chapter finally behind me, I feel like I can truly move forward. It wasn't just about revenge. It was about standing up for myself and ensuring that I received what I was owed. Reflecting on everything that has happened, I realize that there's no sense in dwelling on the past any longer. For so long, I was caught up in the anger and bitterness of being betrayed. But now, I see that holding on to that resentment was only keeping me stuck. I'm no longer living in the shadow of what happened. I've let go of that weight and found peace in doing so. Moving forward, I've made the decision to live my life without the burden of past grudges. I don't want to be defined by the mistakes of others. Instead, I want to embrace the opportunities that lie ahead, focus on my own career, my personal growth, and the people who truly support me. I've learned that life isn't about revenge or holding on to anger. It's about moving on and making the most of the present. While Violet and Robert may have lost everything, I don't have to follow in their footsteps. I've learned from their mistakes, and I'm determined not to repeat them. Life has a way of showing us where we've gone wrong, and I've taken those lessons to heart. I've come to understand that it's not what happens to you, but what you do with it that truly matters. Their choices led them down a destructive path, but I'm choosing to rise above it. Now that I've closed that painful chapter, I'm focusing on what matters most. The joy of spending time with my family, building my career, and embracing the happiness that has come into my life are the things that drive me forward. I've learned that life is too short to live in the past, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. Violet and Robert may have their own struggles, but I can't control that. What I can control is my own path. I've chosen to build a life filled with peace, love, and growth. I've chosen to let go of resentment and embrace the future with an open heart. Moving on wasn't easy, but it's been one of the best decisions I've made. I've learned that life doesn't stop because of betrayal or hardship. It moves forward. And we have the power to choose how we navigate it. I choose happiness, I choose peace, and I choose to create a future where I can thrive, no longer looking back at the past, but instead focusing on what's ahead. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.